Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Today I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for September 27, 2025. We do have maps available for your review at tpatw.com. We'll start the day looking at the forecast weather map. We have that lingering front hanging all the way from North Carolina, coastal North Carolina, down to Georgia and really the Florida Panhandle. We have a large area of unsettled weather working its way up into the Four Corners, and we have really high pressure dominating almost all of the remainder of the country, although there's always that little bit of a frontal area trying to work its way into the Pacific Northwest. Looking at our main weather help index map, the vitality index, you can see that we're looking at significant areas of risk up in the Pacific Northwest, continuing across the Four Corners. Quite a lot of activity up here in the northern plains. We do have that remnant and frontal passage moving away from the northeast or New England. And then, of course, we have this activity in the extreme southeast, Florida, and then a lot of activity just now starting to develop in the Caribbean. Pressure change seems to be that area of the changing weather map that people are concerned with, especially for headache and migraine. And we will have falling pressure up in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and portions of Idaho, really stretching on into Montana. We have rising pressure across North Dakota, South Dakota, into Nebraska, and picking up portions of western Minnesota. We also have rising pressure, post-frontal rising pressure here running from Massachusetts up through New Hampshire and covering most of Maine and then the easternmost sections of Canada. Looking at temperature change, we have rising temperatures here in the Pacific Northwest all the way across coastal areas into Montana. A mishmash of temperatures across the Four Corners with some falling to the north, rising in the south. And of course, we're not talking about temperature change down here in the southeast, but that's where a lot of the tropical activity and concern will be focused. Dew point temperatures, again, very interesting, rising dew point temperatures in the Pacific Northwest, falling in the plains, and then that mishmash of rising temperature, dew point temperatures, and falling here in the Four Corners, always the center of activity. But as we look to the weather health risk, our map today or tomorrow that will be most significant will be the changes in the availability of oxygen in the atmosphere. And we're going to see we'll be picking up that risk of asthma, arthritis in the Pacific Northwest, running Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and across Montana. Another area of asthma and arthritis up here on the easternmost sections of Wisconsin, the Michigan Upper Peninsula, and really northern Michigan. Migraine as a focus of attention, we'll see that we do have that risk of migraine across portions of Southern California, coastal California, picking up another significant area in southern Nevada, cutting across southern Utah into just the westernmost sections of Colorado. In the Four Corners, always again that mishmash, a little bit of migraine risk in the easternmost sections of New Mexico, asthma and arthritis in the western sections of New Mexico, and picking up portions of eastern Arizona. The most significant migraine risk, as I mentioned, up in the northern plains, the Dakotas, and Minnesota. We have an area of migraine risk up the Appalachians, North Carolina, Virginia, up into extreme southeastern Pennsylvania, but then picking up significantly in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. Thanks for visiting the patient and weather. Comments are appreciated. And if you hurt, tell us where you're located.